Hello there, dear listeners, and on Liverpool FC TV today. Let's talk sports day. We have to talk about the current injury situation or crisis at Liverpool FC. And where does the list start? Do you want me to cite the list, or should we just go straight into it? What are
Oh,
Liverpool
go
going
on.
to do?
You do the list. You do the
Go on.
list.
Okay, so what is the list? Is it Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Gomez, Neco Williams, maybe Henderson, Salah, and am I missing anyone else?
Fabinho is still
Fabinho
injured
and
at this time.
Thiago. Yeah. So Sunday, which is in about 5 days, as time of recording, what are Liverpool going to do against Leicester? How are they going to line up? Going to come to you, Joe, because I'm just going to let Luke dry up his tears before we get to him. Joe, what are Liverpool going to do against Leicester?
Well, what can I say? We are in not a very good situation at the moment in terms of injuries, but I suppose most clubs have injuries, most players, and we're just suffering the brunt of it at the moment. And I want to address what Andy said the other day, and exactly, no, Liverpool do not scream and shout and cry about it more than any other football club. It just happens to hit the headlines at the moment because of us being champions. That's why it's out there more than anything. And we have, 16, 17 injuries or something ridiculous like that in total. I think the lineup-wise, I know that there's a possibility or rumours that Alisson and Fabinho and Firmino might have to isolate with one of the Brazil players being tested for COVID and coming positive. But I heard a little faint rumour with that early on the week, but then it's gone quiet again. So I'm guessing that's not going to have to happen. So
good.
It's a shame because I thought Alisson and Fabinho could have been the best centre-back partnership at the moment for Liverpool.
Alisson and Fabinho. I've had Giovanni in goal. No, thank you. And I think we'll start off with that. As an 11, we'll have Alisson in goal, probably have Milner at right back, Phillips and Matip if Matip's fit. I think Klopp's had him in bubble wrap this week at the AXA training centre because we've moved training grounds from Malwood to AXA. I think it'll probably be Tsimikas because Robbo's had the tight hamstring. You'll look at probably Curtis Jones, Naby Keita, Gini Wijnaldum, and then a front three of Jota, Mane and Firmino. Obviously Firmino in the middle three. So you look at that and it's not too bad. It's not the strongest 11, but it's not that weak, apart from obviously the defensive four. All four of our usual defence being out injured. And regards to Joe Gomez, his injury, joined Van Dijk on the long-term injury list with his Capella tendon injury. It's not good. For a player, young player, he's 23 years of age, and he's suffered so many injuries before. He's done his knee ligaments in the past as well, and not long after Jurgen Klopp come into the club, for him to get another ligament injury, which is going to be long term, it's absolutely awful for Liverpool. And to have their senior first choice centre back pairing of Van Dijk and Gomez out probably for the rest of the season, it's not ideal to say the least.
Yeah. So, I mean, I mentioned this the other day. Well, not the other day, just today as well. Leicester are coming back with. I mean, Evans is the only one. There are only a handful that have gone away on international duty for Leicester.
Schmeichel might be out.
Schmeichel might be out. That's the only.
He got absolutely KO'd.
Yeah, and I reckon that a concussion of sorts will make sure that he's out for this game. But if you look at it, Castagne might be back. He was on a break from Bel. Well, he's injured. Sorry, he might be back. Evans didn't play last night for Northern Ireland. Fofana wasn't called by France. Fuchs wasn't called by Austria. Barnes, Albrighton, and Maddison all weren't called by England. Pratt only played a handful of minutes against England. They're reasonably fresh. They should be fresh. This is a break for them. So if there's a chance to play Liverpool, it's now. Can Liverpool do something against Leicester when Leicester look like, well, in my opinion, the favourites, Luke?
I wouldn't say Leicester are the favourites. I don't know. If Schmeichel's definitely out for this game, I feel like that it might give me a little bit of a lift. Because Daniel Ward's good. It's not that good. So, downgrades the defence a little bit. But look, Leicester have had a good start. They're top of the league. Vardy's been good. But most of his goals have been pens this year. I think he's got 2 goals from open play. Now he's got 5 pens and 7 appearances. So you keep Vardy quiet, you keep Leicester quiet, and that's easier said than done because he's like a fine wine. He's getting better the older he gets. He's not running into the channels as much as he used to when he was younger.
He's doing it, but less and more efficiently.
Yeah, he's staying in the width of that 18-yard box. Like, there's no way he's going to be pulling out to the left, pulling out to the right. He's going to be staying central because he's going to be, whoever is the centre-back partnership, he'll be licking his lips to see. Because I think the back four is going to be James Milner. I think Fabinho, Matip. I think that's going to be the first choice pairing now, especially in the league. I think Robertson's going to play. I think he's going to risk Robertson in this. Only because I reckon Tsimikas is going to play in the Champions League in midweek. Because Liverpool Champions League group is near enough done. It's finished nearly. Like, Liverpool are going to top that group. So I imagine Klopp's going to rotate in that. Midfield, I think Gino Wijnaldum's going to play.
But he'll play again for the Netherlands this week.
I know but that's the thing. I don't know how bad Jordan Henderson's injury is. I don't know whether or not it's just a precaution or whether or not he's had scans, and he's definitely confirmed that he's going to be out. So I'm going to say that he's out injured, which is bad news. I'm going to go with Thiago. I think he's going to start.
So, in all fairness, it's very wishful thinking for 3 muscular injuries as Robertson, Fabinho, and Thiago. Thiago's a muscular injury, isn't it? To hope that they all come back on Sunday.
No, Thiago was his knee.
Yeah, but wasn't it
Thiago was his knee, and it's been confirmed that Thiago is back in full training. I think Fabinho has been training throughout in the international break. So it looked like that he's going to be ready. You don't know how bad the Robertson injury is.
No, but I still think it's wishful thinking when you've got a multiple amount of muscle injuries and you're going to risk their first game back all in one game. If he's got, say, for instance, if he's risking Henderson, Robertson, and Fabinho all in the Leicester game, you can almost be certain that one will get injured, and there are only 3 subs in this league at the moment. So, so that's the problem. If he risks all 3 of them, and all 3 of them go off injured, then he's just shot himself in the foot.
A couple.
So that's
I think he'll risk
problem.
A couple.
He's shot himself in the foot. And he's also left himself no substitutes at the end. So it's a big risk. And
I think he risks Fabinho because he's not been on international duty. He has been rehabilitating. He has been training. I think he risks Robertson. I don't think he risks Jordan Henderson. I don't think he risks Jordan Henderson because if he plays and then he's out for a prolonged period of time, you saw what happened when he's not in the team. Look at what happened at Villa away. He was in the stands. Liverpool got absolutely battered. So I imagine that he won't play.
So
I imagine he won't play at all. So I reckon it'll be Wijnaldum, Keita, and Thiago. And then it'll be Jota, Firmino, and Mane.
So there's going to obviously. So now, either one record's going to be broken. Liverpool currently in the league are the only team to have the perfect home record, and Leicester are the only team to have the perfect away record. Can you both name me the last time Leicester beat Liverpool? Who was the manager for Leicester? Do you remember?
Do you mean at Anfield, or do you mean
just generally?
Is it
last
Craig
time
Shakespeare?
It was Craig Shakespeare. Yeah, 2 goals from Jamie Vardy.
Wow, wasn't it?
So they beat Man City, they beat Leeds, and they've beat who else was it away from home? They've beat Man City, Leeds, and Arsenal. Sorry, away from home. Teams that they've managed to absorb pressure. Is that not a problem for Liverpool? I mean, Leicester can clearly play on the counter and they can invite pressure. If they do that to Liverpool, surely they're gonna fancy themselves.
I don't know. I don't know. Since the Van Dijk injury, I feel like Klopp's changed his tactics a bit. I don't feel like he's going to play a suicidal high line now. I think he's going to realise that can't play the way I want to play. and we're
You
going to
can't
drop
play a
the line.
suicidal high line when you play 4-2-4, can you? I mean,
I know, but like,
it's the most suicidal thing possible. It's not like he's changed from one suicidal tactic to a very precautious one. He's changed from suicidal to suicidal.
But I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna drop the line. I think he's gonna drop the line deeper. It wouldn't surprise me if he lets Leicester have the ball and us absorb and hit Leicester on the counter, or whether or not Klopp's going to go 17-18. Just go, let's play heavy metal football and just attack. Because you know what the best form of defence is? Attack. So it wouldn't surprise me. I think Liverpool win the game.
Joe, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen in this game? And how much?
It's going to be a tight game of football. Leicester, obviously, they came to Anfield last season when we were on our run for the title early on in the season, and very nearly got the draw. In Andy Robertson's book that I'm reading at the moment, he said that he thought Leicester were value for the draw. He thought they probably deserved to nick a point. But obviously, Liverpool won the penalty in the last minute, dispatched coolly by that man, James Milner. I think it's going to be a very, very tight game. I think Leicester are going to come out and try and attack our weakened defence, and I think I won't be surprised to see us try and hit them on the counter attack. I don't know. I've got a sneaky feeling. As much as I want to be optimistic and say we'd win, make 2-1 or something. If there is a win, it'd be by the one goal. But to be honest, I've got a sneaky feeling that it's just going to be a draw because both sides, Liverpool hit with the injuries, and Brendan Rodgers actually doing okay at Leicester. I thought he was tactically inept when he was Liverpool manager. I think he was a small fish in a big pond. I think he wasn't the right fit for the club. But he's got to Celtic, won a couple of trophies up there, come to Leicester, and I think he's found his level now. And that's with all due respect to Brendan Rodgers. He's found his level at Leicester City, and he's got them playing some good football. He's got a system that works for the club, and he knows which players he can and can't trust there. And he's built himself a good side. And I think Leicester will be a bit of a problem for us, but I don't know. I don't think we'll lose. Let's put it that way. I don't think we'll lose.
Yeah,
I think our record will stay
Brendan,
intact.
I mean, in all fact, now Brendan Rodgers is in a club that can offer him a chance to at least fight for fourth place on a regular basis, not like the last few clubs. But
he's one of the highest paid managers in the league, isn't he?
Brendan. He probably is. I think it's unfair saying that Brendan Rodgers was technically inept. He completely got the hand over Bielsa, Guardiola, and Arteta. Whether you can say they're great managers or not is another conversation. But he showed adaptability and also very tactical awareness to be able to adapt in all those games. Admittedly, games where they just won't dominate possession at all. But yeah, I think it's a bit unfair. So
I was saying tactically inept when he was Liverpool manager, and now he's
still
learned.
Young,
he's learned his
lessons. It's a bit unfair, isn't it? He had his ideology when he first came to Liverpool, and he's dropped that a bit because he used to be all about wanting to keep possession, and that was the bread and butter of the whole of his whole ethos at Swansea. And he's dropped that. I mean, Leicester have only had 3 times more possession than the opponent this season in the Premier League, and one of those, well, it was West Ham, and Burnley, notorious teams for not wanting the ball. So he's changed. He has changed his managerial style, and he's older now. He's not the same young manager who's inexperienced. So I don't think it's fair, the evaluation of him at Liverpool. He was still a very inexperienced manager at that point. But yeah. Anyway, how do you think Liverpool should adapt to the tactics defensively? What's your thoughts on the whole crisis? Should the Premier League do something, or is this Liverpool's fault and Klopp's fault? There's no below. Thanks for listening.